differential equation. Also explain last class, but anyway, once again explain, right? So what is differential equation? So whenever you write something like this, y equals to x plus 1, right? So this is an ordinary equation, right? Y with x plus 1 is an ordinary equation. If you draw the graph of this curve, right, what will be the graph of this curve? Tell me. When x equal to 0, y is 1. When x equal to 0, y is 1. So x value is 0, y value is 1. When you put x equal to 0 here, you put y equals to 1. When x equals to 1, y is 1 plus 1, 2. So when x is equals to 1, y is 2. Similarly, when x is equals to minus 1, right? When x is minus 1, y is 0. So when x is equals to minus 1, y is 0. So the graph of the curve will be like this, a straight line like this, right? So this is y equals to x plus 1. So this is an ordinary equation. Now I can form a differential equation from this ordinary equation. How? Very simple. You have to do the differentiation. So what is differentiation of this? Y equals to x plus 1. So if I differentiate this, what will get? Dy by dx. Differentiation of y with respect to x is equals to. So if you differentiate x with respect to x, what do you get?
1.
Anybody? 1 plus. If you differentiate a constant, what do you get?
0.
0. Right? So now dy by dx is equals to 1. Or you can write the same thing, dy by dx minus 1 equals to 0. Right? So this is a first order partial differentiation. So whatever you're getting, dy by dx minus 1 is called a first order differential equation. Why it is called first order? Because it has a first order derivative dy by dx. It has a first order derivative dy by dx. If it is d square by dx square, means it is a second order derivative. So it is a first order derivative, and it is also an equation. Dy by dx minus 1 equals to 0. Otherwise, you can write this as y dash minus 1 is equals to 0. So now just think, okay? So you have an order equation that's like y equals to x plus 1, and differentiate that, you will get a differential equation. You will get a differential equation, right? So this equation, so a differential equation is always associated with an ordinary equation, right? So the differential equation tells the properties of the ordinary equation, properties of an ordinary equation. Usually an equation represents movement of some object, right? It may be movement of a car, or it represents the movement of share price, or it represents movement of oil price. So it always represents movement of certain things. It may be a thing, or it may be a commodity, whatever it may be. It represents the movement of a price or movement of a vehicle, all these things, right? And then the derivatives, that is dy by dx and d square by dx, are nothing but the velocity and acceleration of the movement. Velocity and acceleration of the movement. Otherwise, it is called as rate of change of the path, right? So whenever an equation is like this, right? So it represents the movement of certain things. It may be a, curve represents the share price of an commodity, or it may represent the oil price or gold price, or physically represents a movement of a car at 0th second where the car is, at the first second where the car is, at the second where the car is, right? But whatever it may be, the dy by dx is nothing but the first order derivative, is nothing but the rate of change of the equation, right? Particularly, we call in the equation x is called as independent variable and y is called as dependent variable. Why? Because we are putting the value for x From that only we are finding the value of y. So whenever we put some value, it is independent, right? We can put any value, right? So that is called independent variable. But according to the value of x, y is defined. So that is called dependent variable. So x is independent variable, y is dependent variable. And whenever if you differentiate the that dependent variable with an independent variable, right, then you will get the rate of change of the dependent variable. How the y values changes according to the value of change of x, according to the value of change of x, right? And there are some physical meanings also there. There are some physical meaning also there. And mathematically how the derivatives are found, that I explained last class. You just check the last class video, right? So dy by dx is nothing but the rate of change of, right, that independent variable, the rate of change of the independent variable with respect to the dependent variable, with respect to the dependent variable x. So y is independent variable, x is dependent variable. So dy by dx equals to 1. So we will always form a differential equation from an ordinary equation by differentiating it, right? Now that can be done in the reverse manner, right? Whenever I will just show you once again. One, right? So whenever if you have a differential equation like this, you can always transform the differential equation into an ordinary equation. Transform the differential equation into an ordinary. Suppose the same form example I told. Suppose you have a differential equation is like this. Now you have to solve the differential equation. By solving the differential equation, you will get the ordinary equation. How? How to solve? Anybody knows how to solve a differential equation? Students?
dy by dx is equal to 0, sir.
No, I am asking dy by dx equals to 1. I start with this. This is a differential equation I have. I want to solve this differential equation. How to solve? Form a differential equation means you are differentiating an ordinary equation, then you are getting a differential equation. So after getting a differential equation, how to solve a differential equation? Anybody? Last class I told. Those attended last class, they can tell. Syed, Jonathan. Anybody? How to solve a differential equation? Very simple. The ulta form, that is integration. Right? So whenever you integrate a differential equation, right, you can able to solve it and you can take back into the ordinary equation format, right? So if you integrate this, what do you get? Dy dx goes that side, right? Then it becomes y equals to x plus c. Right? So what is this? This is an ordinary equation. Y equals to x plus c, right? Here independent variable. Here there is no differential form. But how you get? By integrating this differential equation, then we'll get an ordinary equation, right? So integrating a differential equation is solving a differential equation and finding the original equation, right? So here you tell me why I am putting this c. Anybody tell me why I am putting this c?
Constant.
C is constant. C is a constant, sir.
Why we are whenever integrating? Why we are putting c?
C is a constant, sir.
C is a constant, that I know, man. Why we are putting that c? Because integration of dy is y, the integral of dx is x. Why we unnecessarily put c? Anybody knows? Huh?
Integration rule.
No.
Because you don't know the value.
Why we don't know the value? See,
When we differentiate, it becomes 1, 0.
Suppose the original equation y equals to x plus 5, right? If you differentiate it, what do you get? Dy by dx is equals to, what do you get?
1.
1, right? Suppose if it is y equals to x plus 7, then what is dy by dx? What is dy by dx? Is equals to
1.
1, right? So for this differential equation is associated with this equation, and this differential equation again is associated with this equation. Then you may ask, sir, whether the differential equation is associated with so many functions. Yes, it is possible. Yes, it is possible. Why? Can you tell me? Physically it may represent something, and this also may represent, suppose physically it may represent the share price, this may represent the movement of a car, but when you find the speed or the rate of change, they may be same, right? So physically two equations represents two different things, but when you come to understanding the rate of change, both may say the rate of change is same with respect to independent variable and dependent variable, right? So here it may says rate of change of share price with respect to some commodity is always uniform, 1. At the same time, you can say the rate of that is change of rate of change of displacement of the car with respect to time is 1. So physically we can mean so many things representing the equations, but dy by dx only tells the rate of change. So once it tells the rate of change, so when you integrate dy by dx, once again by using this idea, right? So if you integrate this, right, it becomes y equals to x plus, and you don't know whether you are going to put 7 or 5, because when you integrate x plus 7 also you will get dy by dx to 1, and x plus 5 also you get dy by dx to 1. So you don't know which constant you have to put. And not only that, if you put any constant, you will get only this. So in general they put it may be any constant c. Right? So that they will put that integrated constant, because whenever if you differentiate a constant like this, it becomes 0 when you differentiate it. So when you revert back the system, when you integrate it, automatically you have to put one constant, because there may be some constant in the original function that maybe becomes 0 when you differentiate it. So that once you revert back this process by doing the integration, you always put one constant, because you have to assume this as some 0, right? And always you have to revert back as a constant c, right? Are you able to understand this, students? Are you able to understand this? So this is why they are putting the integrating constant always. But if the limits are given for a integration, then there's no need to put that. I will explain later, not now, right? Because that will confuse you, right? But now I will teach you, right, what is partial derivatives, because the first unit is partial differential equation. So whatever I teach for the last 2 classes, and now whatever I recall, I hope that will be very much useful to you to understand the basics of differentiation and integration, right? So particularly differentiation and differential equation, right? So now we will teach you what is partial derivatives, right? So listen carefully. Then we move on partial differential equation. Once you understand partial derivatives, then it is easy to understand partial differential equation, right? So whatever we discussed so far, it is like this: y equals to x plus 1 or x plus 5, or y equals to you can even write sin x plus x square, right? So whatever may be the equation, now all this equation we have only one independent variable. X. So when you put the value of x, automatically you can find the value of y, right? But in physical nature, when you are do some experiments, it is not always a single independent variable. The independent variable may be more than one. Suppose for some experiments you have to find the temperature and pressure, right? So temperature and pressure, so as a mechanical students you always know, right? Temperature and pressure will determine so many things, right? But temperature and pressure are independent to each other, right? You can't say if the temperature is like this, then pressure will be like, right? So assume that temperature and pressure are two different things. I write temperature is one variable and pressure is another variable. And temperature I name it as x, and pressure I name it as y, right? So here both x and y are independent. Remember, both are independent variable. Now I write an equation. Z is equals to x square plus y square. Right? So here what I mean, I put some temperature value and I put some pressure value and I have an relation. This may represent something, right? Physically it represents some experiment. And the relation is z equals to x square plus y square. So z may be some component which depends on temperature and pressure, right? So whenever I input the value of x and y, I can able to find z. So here z is the dependent variable. Dependent on x and y. That is temperature and pressure. Temperature and pressure, TMP, right? Okay. So now z value can change either with the change in x value or either the value change in y value or both x and y, right? So if there is any change in either in x or in y, there will be a change or there will be an impact on z value, right? So now if you want to find the derivative dz by dz, rate of change, you have to differentiate that function with respect to x, as well as you can differentiate that function, that is you can find the rate of change of z with respect to x. At the same time you can find the rate of change of that z with respect to y also, right? So now z depends on two things, right? So in the same way z may depends on 3 independent variable, 4 independent, and any number of independent, but in our unit we are only bothering about 2 independent variables and 1 dependent variable. So you can follow this notation, right? So z is the dependent variable, z is the dependent variable, right? Z is dependent and x and y are independent, so that we can find the derivatives, that is rate of change of z with respect to x separately and rate of change of z with respect to y separately, right? So whenever you integrate a function, whenever differentiate a function with more than one variable, that derivatives are called as partial derivatives. So instead of using the word d, they use the word do. They write as dou z by dou x. If I write dou z by dou x means, right, rate of change of z with respect to x, but the dou represents, right, it is a partial derivative. Partial derivative means z not only depends on z, z maybe depends on other things also. That is the indication of this. So this is called as first order partial derivative of z with respect to x. Similarly, I can write dou z by dou y. That is first order partial derivative of y z with respect to y. So dou z by dou x and dou z by dou y are called as partial derivatives, right? I will write in a separate screen. So dou z by dou x and dou z by dou y. Right? Are called partial derivatives. So partial, the word itself, you know, partiality means you are telling partiality. Partiality means you are only do it on for one thing. You are not bothering about the other thing, right? So whenever we differentiate z with respect to x, we are assuming that there is no y as a constant, because you already know in school also, right? So whenever do the partial differential, right, we have to keep y as a constant. We have to differentiate only with respect to x, right? Similarly, whenever if we differentiate with respect to y, we assume z as a constant. For example, you take the same example, z equals to x square plus y square. So whenever if I want to differentiate this, right, I can differentiate dou z with respect to x first. So x first means you have to assume only x is the variable. So differentiation of x square is 2x. And in that case, I have to assume y as a constant. So differentiation of constant is 0. Similarly, I can able to find dou z by dou y. So when I find dou z by dou y, I assume z as a constant, so I put 0. Then differentiation of y square is 2y. Right? And particularly they call these words are called as first order partial derivatives. First order partial derivatives, because here it is only dou z by dou x. If it is dou square z by dou x square or dou square z by dou y square, means it becomes second order. So these are particularly these are called as first order partial derivatives. Right? These two things are called as first order partial derivatives. Dou z by dou x and dou z by dou y are called as first order partial derivatives. In the same way, you can find second order and third order. How? Again, if you differentiate. So dou z by dou x is 2x. Again, if you differentiate dou z by dou x, what do you get? You will get dou square z by dou x square. What is meaning of dou square z by dou x square? Differentiate one more time. It will become dou square z by dou x square. It is not squaring. Try to understand, it is not squaring, it is only differentiating. This is first time differentiation. Z to zx is first time differentiation. Now zx to dou z by dou z to dou square z means second time differentiation. If you differentiate second time, what will happen? 2x becomes 2, right? 2x becomes 2. Only 1 minute. Only 1 minute. I will be right there. One minute. Right. So now are you able to understand what is partial derivatives and how you can differentiate with respect to partial derivatives? Do you have any doubt on this? Syed, Anand, Sumit, Jonathan.
No, sir.
Tell me. Any doubt on this?
No, sir.
Right? Okay. So now I will connect this with the differential equation. Now I'll connect this with the differential equation. Then only you can understand what is partial differential equation. Right? So again, I'm writing the same thing. Very simple. Same thing. We have to do it. You can understand by one simple example. You can understand everything. Right? So just now I write z equals to x square plus y square. Then I write dou z by dou x as 2x and dou z by dou y as 2y, right? And I call this as first order partial derivatives. And this itself an equation. See, I can write this as dou z by dou x minus 2x is equals to 0. Right. So I am writing using mouse, right? Because there is some problem with the pen tablet. Otherwise, in pen tablet, I can write in a very nice manner. But okay. Still, I am explaining so that you can easily understand. So dou z by dou x minus 2x equals to 0, and dou z by dou x minus 2y is equals to 0, right? So both these things, right, will help us to understand what is partial differential equation. So this is nothing but a first order partial differential equation, because it is an equation. Dou z by dou x minus 2x equal to 0. It is an equation and it contains partial derivatives. So it is a partial differential equation, and in particular it is called a first order partial differential equation because the derivative it has dou z by dou x is a first order partial derivative. So we call this as first order partial differential equations. Right? So both things. Dou z by dou x minus 2x equal to 0 is a first order PDE, and dou z by dou y minus 2y is equals to 0 is a first order PDE. It's also a first order PDE. Right. So, but when you revert back this to the original equation, right, and you have to find the original equation, means there are some procedure is there, right? So there are two things. From an ordinary equation, by differentiating ordinary or partially, right? Ordinary means only one variable, partially means more than one variable. So whenever you do the differentiation, right, you can form a partial derivative or you can form a partial differential equation just like this, right? So here what you did, this is an ordinary equation. Here by differentiating that you can get two partial differential equations, both of them associated with the original equation, right? Both of them tells what is the rate of change of z with respect to x, what is the rate of change of z with respect to y. And now if you revert back this, using integration, right, then you will get back the original function, so that differentiation formulas and the integration formulas are ulta to each other, right? Whenever if you differentiate x square, you will get 2x. Whenever you integrate 2x, you will get x square, right? So this is the partial differential equation. So in our unit 1, we are going to study only this, how to form a PDE, how to form a partial differential equation from an ordered equation, and then how to solve a PDE. Solve a PDE means, right, from the differential equation, how can get back to the original equation. The original equation means that is z equals to x plus x square plus y square is the original equation, right? And they call this as solution. So solution of a PDE is nothing but original equation. Try to understand. Solution of a partial differential equation is nothing but the original function where we have only z, x, and y. There is no partial derivatives. So solving a differential equation is nothing but, right? Solving a differential equation is nothing but finding the original equation associated with that derivatives. They use a shortcut letter, use PDE, right? Instead of partial differential equation, they always write PDE, right? So that is a short form of partial differential equation or equations, right? So now are you able to understand all these things? Because these are very, very basic things. Because hereafter we can move on to the book, and then we can keep on going, right? So there is no thing. But all these things, whatever I told now, right, before next class, right, try to recall it, because all these things are there in the you already studied all these things in the school itself, and yeah, even in the first year also, right? So try to recollect what is differential equation, what is partial derivatives and partial differential equation. Then only it will be easy to you to understand the things. And so you have to attend the class in a regular manner. That is very, very, very important one, right? Can you move on? Anand, Syed, Sumit, Anpit, Surya, Jonathan. I think only 6 of you are there, right? Or any other person is there? No. Can you move on?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Okay, sir.
Right. Okay. So now before moving on, I will take the attendance. Can you see your names in the screen? Anpit is there, right? So now this is oral attendance. I will call your name one by one, right? You have to give your attendance, right? Remember 3 things you have to do. Whenever you enter the class, you have to type your name and number in the chat box. Then in between, anytime I'll take the oral attendance, that time you have to give. Similarly, at the end of the class also, after say class is over, within 2 minutes before I'm leaving the class, you have to enter, then I close the things, right? So before I am leaving, you have to enter your name and number. Then only by checking in attendance, oral attendance and out attendance, then only I'll give the final attendance, right? So don't think I here report present absent, so it is present absent. I can change at any time. So after the end of the class, I will check how many people give. If some people is left out in between, means I put absent. Anid, I think last class you did the same thing, right? So don't do this type of things. So Anid is there,
Yes, sir.
right? So I'm putting present. but you have to be here till the end of the class. At the end of the class, once I say class is over, I will close the call, close the meeting within 2 minutes. Right? Before that, all of you must submit your attendance in the chat box also. Gokulakannan, are you there? Gokulakannan, not. Pradesh? No. Jonathan? Jonathan is also not there. So absent only. Jonathan? No reply. Sunil? No reply. Syed?
Present, sir.
Okay. Hari Govind? No reply. Mukesh? No. Mirza? Sadiq? No. Aman Kumar? No. Kumar Yuvraj not there. Anand Kumar?
Present, sir.
Okay. Sumit Kumar?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Sumit Kumar also there. So I put Anand Kumar and then Sumit Kumar. Then Ved Prakash? No. Ajit? No. Arun Kumar? No. Satyam Kumar? Raj Kumar Mandal? Vijay Kumar? Danush? Arish? Manish Pandian? And another Danush T. So I have only 4 people. Anit, Syed, Anand and Smith. Anit, Syed, Anand and Smith. So Anit, Syed,
Sir,
Anand and Smith. Surya,
sir. Yes, sir.
I already told you, Surya, last 2 class, you just tell your class in charge, sir, and ask
Sir, Ashok sir,
to...
sir.
Huh? யார்கிட்ட
I
தம்பி
have
சொன்னீங்க?
informed Ashok sir, sir. Ashok sir,
தம்பி?
சொன்னேன் sir.
அசோக் சார் சொன்னீங்களான்னு சேர்க்கலையா அவரு?
சார் அவர் சொன்ன அப்புறம் வாட்ஸ்அப் குரூப்ல ஆட் பண்ணார் சார்.
வாட்ஸ்அப் குரூப்ல ஆட் பண்ணுவாங்க தம்பி. இங்க அட்டெண்டன்ஸ்ல உங்க பேர் வரலையே தம்பி. இது வந்து
Okay, sir.
அட்டெண்டன்ஸ் வந்து உங்க டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் தான் கொடுக்குற. மேல எழுதிருக்கா செகண்ட் இயர் தேர்ட் செமஸ்டர்னு
Yes,
போட்டிருக்காங்க. நான் அட்டெண்டன்ஸ் தான் நான் போட முடியும். ஆனா இங்க சைடுல நேம் நான் ஆட் பண்ண முடியாது.
எஸ் சார்.
சரிங்களா? சைடுல நேம் யார் தான் ஆட்
Yes, sir.
பண்ணுவாங்க? உங்க கிளாஸ் இன்சார்ஜ் சார் அசோக் சார் தான் ஆட் பண்ணுவாங்க. ஆனா அவங்ககிட்ட சொல்லி நீங்க ஆட் பண்ணாதான் இதுதான் நான் அட்டெண்டன்ஸா போகும் ஈவினிங். சரிங்களா?
Okay.
ஸோ ஆனால் நீங்க உங்க பேர் சொல்லி ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆட் பண்ண சொல்லுங்க.
எஸ் சார்.
சரிங்களா? Jonathan, are you
Yes, sir.
there? So Jonathan is not there, so I marked him as absent. I don't know whether it has any network issue or not, but anyway, the network issue I can't do. If you come back immediately means I can give attendance, but if you're not at all there means I can't give. Right? So all 4 of you, Syed, Anand, Smith, Anit, no problem. Right? Stay back till the end of the class. But Surya, you just inform to the class in charge, sir. Right? Okay.
Yes,
Now
sir.
you
Yes,
can move on. Right? So I already told you, right? Can you see my screen now? Can you see the book?
Yes, sir.
Right? So this is the e-book I have, right, from the Amazon Kindle, right? So last class I told the reference book is Virarajan book, or you can take Kandasamy Tilakavati Gunavati, or you can take Balaji book. Lot of books are there for Max 3, right? Only thing is that Laplace transform is not there in any of the book, because all the books are related to Anna University, but so Anna University they have Z transforms, but in our university we have Laplace transform. Apart from that, the other 4 units, all the books will cover, right? But unfortunately, that Virarajan book is not available as a e-format, so that I use this book, because this books I used in the last year also, right? Last year in 2020 also you use this book. It's a very nice book, right? Whatever in the Virarajan, it is also there here, and it is also explained in a nice manner. So if you are able to buy this book, right? So this is a book in available in Amazon Kindle, right? If you type simply transforms and differential equation, that is the name of the book, right? And you can see this picture with Sivaramakrishnan Das and Vijay Kumari, and you can buy this book in Amazon Kindle. Some 300 rupees are there. Otherwise, you can buy physical book Virarajan or Palaji or something. Virarajan I always preferred, because that printing errors are very, very less, and concept also explained in a very nice manner, right? So that book you can follow, or you can buy this book in the Amazon Kindle, right? I hope all of you have Amazon account, so you can buy this in the Amazon Kindle, and you can follow me, right? But you don't worry, right? But books is only, I told, it's only for doing problems, right? Doing problems. But you have to attend my class, then only you can understand the concept, right? Books, if you read, you can't understand the concept. You can work out the problems. For that, you can use whatever the handwritten notes I shared with you, or this book. You can use it for work out the problems and understand more. But right from the beginning, basic things you can't understand unless otherwise you are attending the class, right? So the book also, they simply put what are the examples of a partial derivatives. So they simply tells an equation involving partial derivatives. I think all of you able to see, right? What they written, an equation involving partial derivatives of a function with respect to two or more independent variables is called a partial differential equation, right? So they simply tell in a single word what is partial differential equation, but you know how much I explained to you about what is partial derivative, and if you differentiate ordinary equation become a differential equation. So any equation containing the partial derivative is called as partial differential equation, right? Okay, so they give some examples: x into dou z by dou x plus y into dou by z. So here also x, y, z present, so that no problem, x, y, z present. But main thing is the partial derivative should present in the equation, then only they call it as partial differential equation. And this is called as first order. Why it is first order? It has only dou z by dou x and dou z by dou y, first order. This one. But this one is second order. Why? Because it has second order partial derivatives. Dou square z by dou x square, dou square z by dou y square, right? So there are three sections are there in your first unit. The first two sections only bother about the first order differential equation. So right, so we bother about the second order later, right? So they just what is order, the degree they are explaining. So order means this dou square z by dou x square. Degree means the power, right? So here, what is the order of this equation? Order of this equation is dou square z by dou x square. So order is 2. What is the power of that order? Power of that order is 1, right? So this is order 2 power 1, right? So what is the highest order that they have to check? So here the highest order is 2, so that is order of the equation, and then the power of the highest order, that is very, very important. Some people see this number 3 and they tell simply degree 3. It is not degree 3, right? Here degree is also 1. Degree is nothing but the power of the highest order, power of the highest order. So here the order is 2, this because this is second derivative, so it is order 2. And what is the power of this order? It is 1. So this is order 2 and power 1. That only they explain here. Right? So in all these things, the highest order has only power 1. The highest order has power 1. So they put 1, 1, 1. Okay. Now, before moving, I want to tell you that some standard notations used for all these partial derivatives, because each and every time writing dou z by dou x, dou z by dou y, dou square z by dou x square, dou square z by dou y square, it's very, very difficult, right? So usually in ordinary differential equation you use these words: y dash for first derivative, y double dash for second derivative, right? In ordinary differential equation. But now in partial differential equation they use the letter small p, right, for the first derivative of z with respect to x. Similarly, this letter small q is used for dou z by dou y, and dou square z by dou x square is denoted by r, and dou square z by dou y square is denoted by t. Then you may ask, what is this, sir? Dou square z by dou x dou y. Remember, when you differentiate this with respect to x again, then you will get dou square z by dou x square, because first time if you differentiate x, again also if you differentiate with respect to x, then become dou square z by dou x square, right? And if you differentiate y with respect to one more time, then you will get dou square z by dou y and dou square z by dou y square. But first time if you differentiate with respect to x, then second time if you differentiate the same thing with respect to y, then you will get dou square z by dou x and dou y, dou square z by dou x and dou y. So all these three things are second order derivatives. This one, this one, this one. You have three second order derivatives and two first order derivatives, that is denoted by the English letters p, q, or s, t. Right? So this p, q, r, s, t you should not use for any other variable or other thing. This is fixed for this derivative. So throughout your problem, right, you should not allow to use p, q, r, s, t for representing any other thing. Right? This is not only for this book. Universally, these notations are accepted for partial derivatives. Right? So any book if you take in Indian author and most of the foreign author, they use only p, q, r, s, t. Only authors from other than English, like German people or some French people only or Greek people only use some other notations. But all English speaking nations, they use only this notation as a standard notation to represent partial derivatives. Right? So you have to note it down. Right? P, Q, R, S, T. Right? So you just you uh, recollect all these things by the taking some book, or you can see that this class itself has recorded video later, and you can remember these things. Very, very important. Right? So now, as I told already, there are two things. One thing is formation of partial differential equation. How can you form a partial differential equation? From an ordinary equation, you can always form a partial differential equation. You can always form a partial differential equation. Right? Okay. There are other some terms are there. They call it as linear equation. That is first order equation, also called as linear equation. Okay, I will explain that thing also. Right. Here you say 1.2. Definition 1.2. A partial differential equation is said to be linear if the dependent variable and the partial derivatives occur in the first degree and there is no product of partial derivatives or product of derivatives, right? So when what they call it as linear partial differential equation, first order is different, but what they call it as linear partial differential equation is they're saying if the dependent variable and the partial derivatives occur in the first degree. First degree means the power of the order, the power of the order, right? Just see dou square z by dou x square, right? Right? So what is the power? Its power is 1, right? So the power should be 1, and there is no product of partial derivatives. There is no product of partial derivatives means like this. That is, so in some differential equation you may get like this also. A differential equation may be like this: dou z by dou x into dou z by dou y minus 1 is equals to 0. Right? Dou z by dou y. This is not dou square z. Dou z by dou y. This is something like p into q minus 1 equals to 0. Right? So there's no product of partial derivatives. So partial derivative should not be in product, and the degree should be 1. Degree should be 1 means the power of the partial derivatives is always 1, right? Then they will call it as linear partial derivatives. Whenever it is not linear, it become a non-linear partial derivatives, right? So here the examples they tell. So this is the equation 1. They call it as example 1. The equation is a first order linear. So that equation example is this, right? Wait 1 minute. Here they put example 1. What they mean, example 1 is first order linear means they explain this only they are telling. Here there is no product between the partial derivatives, right? So partial derivatives of order 1 and power rules also order 1. So it is a classical example of first order linear equation. But when you see example 2 and 3 means this only they are telling, right? Right. So here there's a product of the dependent variable with dou z by dou x, right? Dependent variable with respect to dou z by dou x, and here the dependent variable as of degree 2, right? Of degree 2 z square. So this type of things are non-linear, right? Whenever partial derivatives, multiplication of partial derivatives or partial derivatives multiplied with the dependent variable, right? Or the power of this partial derivatives or the power of the independent variable is more than 1, that is square or cube, then become non-linear. But you don't bother about all this linear, non-linear, because when you're doing problems, it does not really matter, right? So only for understanding purpose I'm telling, right? But if you look at the third one, it is linear. Why? Because here also you may say, sir, here x square is there, but x square means x and y are independent variables, not dependent variables. So it is still linear. If it is z square means then problem comes, but it is only ordinary variable. Sorry, it's only independent variable x and y, so that you don't bother. Then you have to bother only about the power of the derivatives, but power of the derivatives is only 1 here. Here also 1, here also 1. So it is a linear equation. So people are always confusing with linear and non-linear equation. So very clearly, a linear equation means if the dependent variable and the partial derivatives occur in the degree 1. So dependent variable z and then partial derivative should occur of degree 1 means power 1, and there is no product of partial derivatives, right? That is dou z by dou x into dou z by dou y, that should not be there, or product of partial derivatives and dependent variable, that is z into dou z by dou x, z into dou z by dou x. This type of things also should not be there in the differential equation. Then only the differential equation is called as a linear partial differential equations. Right? Okay. So now we move on to the formation of partial differential equations. So today another 5 to 10 minutes is there. I will just explain these two things. These are the two what I can say that is I can say this is the algorithm to form the PDE, right? How to form a PDE. So that two lines you try to understand clearly. If you understand this two things, you can easily solve any problem in the first unit, right? So partial differential equations can be formed in two ways, right? There are two ways, one way and self. So we just check the first way. What is the first way? By elimination of arbitrary constants from an ordinary functional relation between the variables. Ordinary functional relation means z equals to x square plus y square. It is the relation between independent variable and dependent variable, and sometimes it may be like z equals to ax square plus by square. Right, suppose where a and b are arbitrary constant. What is arbitrary constant? Arbitrary constant means, just like I told, whenever integrated a function, I put y equals to x plus c, and c is arbitrary constant. What is c is arbitrary constant? It is a constant, but it may be anything. I told you, whenever we integrate the function dy by dx equals to 1, then that time we write the final equation as y equals to x plus c, where c is a arbitrary constant. Why I call it as arbitrary constant instead of simply constant? Because c is a number, I know, but still it may be anything, so it is an arbitrary one. So similarly here a and b are arbitrary constant. It may be any number, right? But it is there in the original equation. But whenever you form a differential equation from an ordered equation, in the differential equation there won't be any arbitrary constant is there. Try to understand, whenever you write some equation as a differential equation, in the differential equation there won't be any arbitrary constants, right? So whenever you form an ordinary equation, right, differentiated, in the final equation there won't be any arbitrary constant. That is first thing. And next thing is, if the number of arbitrary constants to be eliminated is equals to the number of independent variables, then the resulting partial differential equation will be of first order. What the meaning is, right? So any one of you tell here how many arbitrary constants are there? Z equals to a square plus ax square plus b square. How many arbitrary constants are there? Syed. How many arbitrary constants are there? Z equals to ax plus ax square plus by square. Anyone? How many arbitrary constants? Tell. Syed, Anand. Z equals to ax square plus by square. Sumit. Surya. How many arbitrary constants are there? Anand, Anit. Okay, Anand. How many arbitrary constants are there? Anand, you can type. How many constants are there? You type. Anand Kumar, you are saying mic is not working. I don't know whether it's my mic or your mic. Okay, you type. Otherwise, you can type in the chat box. How many arbitrary constants? 1, 2, or 3. How many arbitrary constants are there? Z equals to ax square plus by square. See, if you are not replying, means there is no use. You are not studying any second standard or third standard. You are studying BTech mechanical engineering. In schools, okay, no problem. School children, okay, right? So for them, no problem. They are all pass. But in college, university is not like that. You have to write the examination and you have to clear it. And tell me, anybody knows, or you say I don't? I don't know. Hmm. Hmm. You don't know. Lejo. And one more thing, Anand Kumar. Can you hear me? You type yes or no. One more thing I expect from all of you, you change your photo, right? What are the photo you are using? Because now previously you are using your Gmail for your personal purpose, but now you are using your Gmail for your academic purpose. So you put, if you have any passport size, your school photo that you used for your ID card, that you can put as a photo. Otherwise, don't put any photo, right? So this is my suggestion. That is also good also, right? So don't put any photo. If you have any that photo used already for a school ID card or college ID card, that you can put. Otherwise, don't use any picture in your things. You just put your name, right? Okay, now tell me, answer my question. How many arbitrary constants are there in z equals to x square plus y square? Syed. Otherwise, I put absent to all of you. Can I put absent to all of you?
No, sir.
So two dependent variables, sir.
Two dependent variable. Okay, at least one answer. Right? See, all of you be attentive in the class. Otherwise, attendance will be given. Otherwise, no problem. So you can see with the screen. I can change the present and absent for within a second. present as absent, right? Okay, try to understand it. So it has two independent variables, right? In z equals to x square plus y square.
Yes.
See, you are attending the class for you, man, not for me, right? You are only paying money, right? You are whatever may be the pandemic situation. After 2 years, you have to go for some job. All these things are there, right? So we have only two independent variables, a and b, right? So whenever you try to differentiate this and finding dou z by dou x and try to form a PDE from this equation, right? That equation is always of order 1. It always of order 1. Why they're telling? Because how many independent variables are there? There are two independent variables and the number of arbitrary constants also 2. So the theory says if the number of arbitrary constants to be eliminated is equals to the number of independent variable, then the resulting partial differential equation will always be of order 1. Will always be out of order 1. So independent variable only 2. Arbitrary constant also 2 means both are equal means you can always form a first order PDE. Suppose if the number of arbitrary constants, that is the next line, if the number of arbitrary constants is more than the number of independent variables, suppose you have ax square plus by square plus c. So here three arbitrary constants and two independent variables. So number of arbitrary constants is more than the number of independent variable means whenever you try to form a PDE from this equation, that PDE is always of the form of order more than 1. That means there, if you differentiate this and if you form a PDE, means that PDE is always of the form dou square z by dou x square or dou cube z by dou z cube. So you can always form a PDE of order more than 1 if the number of arbitrary constants is more than the number of independent variable. But if the number of independent variable is same as the number of arbitrary constants, means directly you can find a first order, right? Directly you can find a first order, right? So this only we are going to do in the next class, right? From example 1, how to form a PDE using by eliminating the arbitrary constants, and then there are how to form a PDE by eliminating arbitrary